In Matthew's book, Jesus said, go into all the land, take the word, share it, teach it, preach to every man. Just do it. Hello, this is Dr. Gregg Mays with your Word Wednesday. There's an expression that many people use. Why do bad things happen to good people? I'm going to one up that statement. Why do bad things happen? You see, we get so focused on if bad things happen to bad people, well, that's okay, right? What we can't accept is when bad things happen to good people. That's what that statement means. If you're bad and stuff happens to you, okay. But if you're good and bad things happen, well, we start to question whether or not God is really good. We start to question whether or not, just anything. We question that. Why? Because from our perspective, bad things should not happen to good people. And that's where we make our mistake. I'm going to take us all the way back in the Bible to the book of Genesis in chapter 3. And my Bible it says the fall. At the top of chapter 3, it says the fall, right? And then it just kind of talks us through what happens in this moment. And I'm only going to read 2 verses. That's it. And then I'm going to talk you through the significance of those 2 verses, because we get so busy, and I can feel the Spirit of the Lord welling up in me. I'm going to try my best to be careful. We get so focused on what we think. We're so smart. But check this out. I hope you get this. Please begin to pray that the Lord will open your heart, open your eyes, soften your heart, and let you understand what it is I'm saying right now, because it will free you and it'll allow you to live in Jesus Christ with joy and peace. Watch this. Verse 6 says, now you'll know what we're talking about, and if you don't, then go in and just read all of chapter 3, Genesis chapter 3. Verse 6 says, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then, I'm going to say that word again because I want you to grab it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. We read that story and we even make jokes about it. Oh, well, the woman did this or the man listened to the woman. And we miss the significance of the lesson that God taught us in that moment. And here it is. We were required to obey God from the beginning. It wasn't a suggestion. He said, any fruit, anything you can use for food in this garden, except do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because if you do, you will surely die. And we read that and we blow it off. We think, how can bad things happen to good people, right? Why? What kind of loving God would allow bad things to happen to good people? That's our mantra. That's why people won't even follow the Lord. That's why they will not follow Jesus Christ, because they have convinced themselves that they know what's best, and that if God was real, he would not allow bad things to happen to good people. Watch this. In that moment, when Adam and Eve ate of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what happened is that was the first disobedience of God. Now, this is what we don't want to understand. When we disobey God, there is a consequence. That consequence, God already told Adam he would die, right? We don't want to hear that, because now we are the offspring of Adam and Eve, and we have that same consequence to our sin. Now, we willfully disobey. And here's the thing. If you look through the span of time, right? Look through the span of time. People have been making decisions. Now, catch this. People have been making decisions that have a follow-on effect. Now, we don't want to hear that, because we think history is history. It's done. We don't got to deal with that. Yes, you do. We're not going to deal with that in this particular episode of Word Wednesday, but you need to understand that whatever has happened in the past can have an effect on you, good or bad. Good or bad. And so today we're talking about, why do bad things happen to good people? And that is because Genesis chapter 3, when we read verse 6 and 7, when Adam and Eve do what they did, we now, all of us, are living in a fallen world. That means we are living in a world where sin, where disobedience is allowed to run. Now, it always was allowed to run. It was always allowed to be here. That's why Eve could make the decision that she made, and Adam could make the decision that he made. We have always had the ability of free choice. But what we have to understand is free choice comes with consequences. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because our ability to choose comes with consequences that are not always only impacting our lives. I can show you story after story in this Bible where somebody did something over here, but it impacted somebody over here who did nothing wrong. That's the way it is. You know, God tells us in the book of Isaiah that his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So when you fix your mouth to begin to say things like, well, I don't want to follow a God who would allow that, you don't have the things of God on your mind. You can't even think at that level. I would encourage you, get in the Word. Surround yourself with mature Christians, people who are going to guide you well in the Word of God, because we live in a fallen world. And as a result of that, bad things are going to happen to good people. How you respond is what's going to set you apart. Won't you respond in a way that shows that you love the Lord, that you trust him, and that you want to bring people to him, that they too may come to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Hey, I pray that this is a blessing for you. And remember, stay strong. So what you waiting for? Someone to feel the pain some more? Cause you ain't share the love, the grace you found within the Father's care. To share the love of God is more than just a simple job. It's Christ speaking the off a Holy Spirit law. Share it.